All right. So you send over some notes on OpenAI's latest updates for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And wow, this is big.
Yeah, they really went all out this time.
Way more than just like, tweaks and bug fixes.
Right, they're really focusing on the user experience this time around.
Yeah. And one thing that kept popping up in your notes
Mm-hmm.
was this thing called Canvas.
Oh, yeah.
What is that all about?
So Canvas is this whole new way to interact with ChatGPT. It's
Mm.
like instead of just having that back and forth text chat,
Yeah.
it's a visual space where you can collaborate with the AI.
So it's not just about like feeding it prompts and getting text dumps back.
Exactly. It's much more interactive and visual.
Okay, so how does that actually work in practice? Can you give me an example?
Sure. Imagine you're working on like a marketing campaign
Mhm.
for a new line of athletic wear or something.
Right.
In Canvas, you'd have your chat history on one side
Hmm.
and then this dedicated space on the other,
Okay.
where you can actually see the campaign elements taking shape.
So instead of getting lost in this sea of text,
Right.
you can actually see the creative output as it develops.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just about seeing it, you can interact with it too.
Oh, interesting. How so?
So let's say the AI suggests a tagline for your campaign.
Okay.
You can edit it right there in Canvas,
Hmm.
make it snappier, more on brand.
So it's kind of like brainstorming with the AI, but visually.
Yeah, exactly. It's a much more collaborative experience.
I'm really digging this. So what else can you do with Canvas?
Well, it goes beyond just editing text.
Okay.
Remember those shortcut buttons I mentioned in my notes?
Right, like suggest edits or adjust the length.
Yeah,
I kind of just figured those were for basic text manipulation.
they are, but think about it in terms of creative flow.
Okay.
Let's say you're writing a blog post about sustainable fashion.
Hmm.
Hitting suggest edits isn't just about grammar.
Right.
It's like getting feedback from an editor
Mm.
who actually gets the topic,
That's a good point. So it's like having a second set of eyes, but a really smart set of eyes.
Exactly. And those eyes are constantly learning and adapting
Wow.
your style.
Okay. And what about adjust the length? I mean, that's just for like, cutting words.
It can be,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also about tailoring your content to different platforms.
Oh, I see.
Like a catchy caption for Instagram
Right.
versus a detailed blog post. Those require very different approaches.
Yeah. I'm starting to see how these shortcuts
Yeah.
aren't just gimmicks.
Mm-hmm.
They're really thoughtfully designed
Yeah.
to streamline the whole creative process.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about that add emojis button?
Oh, yeah.
Does that really belong in like a professional context?
Well, emojis are everywhere these days.
Yeah.
And they can be a powerful way to add personality and tone,
Mhm.
even in professional communication.
So it's about like
Mhm.
injecting that human element,
Mm-hmm.
even when you're working with AI.
Right.
Okay, I see your point.
And that seems to be what OpenAI is doing with these updates, is recognizing that communication is more than just words.
Right.
It's about visuals, tone, and building that human connection.
This is getting interesting.
Yeah.
One other thing that caught my eye in your notes
Mm-hmm.
was how Canvas can also be used for coding.
Oh, yeah.
That seems like a pretty big jump from creative writing.
It does, but at its core, coding is a form of creative problem solving.
Right.
So it makes sense when you think about it that way.
Okay, but how does that actually work? I mean, what does that look like in Canvas?
Okay, so imagine you're debugging some Python code
Mm-hmm.
for a website you're building.
Right.
In Canvas, you would have your code editor on one side
Okay.
and the output window on the other.
Just like a regular code editor then.
Yeah, but it's the level of integration that makes it special.
Okay.
So let's say you hit a snag in your code
Mhm.
and you're not sure why it's not working.
Right.
There's a run button right there in Canvas. So you can execute the code
Uh-huh.
and see the results immediately.
So I can test my code in real time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't have to switch between windows or anything.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it makes debugging so much faster and less frustrating.
Right, because you can experiment and see the impact right away.
Yeah.
What about more complex tasks, like working with data visualizations and things like that?
Canvas can handle that too.
Wow.
So let's say you're trying to create a bar chart
Okay.
to visualize some website traffic data.
Mm-hmm.
You can write your Python code directly in Canvas
Uh-huh.
and then use libraries like matplotlib to generate the chart right there.
Oh, wow. So you're not just seeing lines of code.
Right.
You're actually seeing the visual representation of the data.
Exactly. And it goes beyond static charts. You can create interactive visualizations, animations,
Oh,
all within Canvas.
that is incredibly powerful.
But it
For
is.
anyone working with data, I mean,
Right.
business, research, even personal projects.
Absolutely.
This is amazing.
And remember those shortcut buttons we were talking about?
Right.
They're still here.
Okay.
And they play a role with coding, too.
So what do they do in this context?
Well, imagine hitting suggest edits while you're working on your visualization code. Instead of just grammatical suggestions,
Right.
you're getting insights into how to make your chart more effective. You know, how to improve the clarity and the impact.
So it's like having a data viz expert looking over your shoulder.
Exactly.
This is really making me want to dust off my Python skills.
Yeah.
It's like Canvas is taking what could be a really technical and intimidating process and just making it way more approachable.
I think that's the overall theme of these updates is OpenAI really wants to make AI
Yeah.
more accessible.
And not just easier,
Right.
but more engaging and even, dare I say, fun.
Yeah, exactly. Who would have thought coding could be fun?
I know, right?
It's amazing what good tools can do.
Yeah. When you can remove that friction, that complexity,
Right.
it opens up a whole world of possibilities.
It really does.
This is all really impressive.
Yeah.
But there's one more thing I want to dig into before we move on.
Okay.
You know those custom GPTs mentioned in your notes?
Oh, yeah. Those are really interesting.
They seem like a whole other level of awesome.
Yeah. It's like taking ChatGPT
Right.
and molding it to fit your specific needs
Okay.
and workflows.
Okay. I am intrigued.
Yeah.
But before we dive into that,
Hmm.
I need a breather. We've covered a lot of ground here.
I know, right?
And my brain needs a minute to process all this awesomeness.
For sure.
So let's take a quick break,
Yeah, sounds good.
and we'll come back and unpack custom GPTs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Those custom GPTs you were talking about.
Okay, I'm ready to have my mind blown.
Right.
What exactly are we talking about here?
So imagine if you could take like all the power of ChatGPT and just kind of mold it
Yeah.
to your specific needs and workflows.
Okay.
That's what custom GPTs are all about.
So it's like having a personalized version of ChatGPT.
Exactly. You give it unique instructions, specialized knowledge. You can even give it like a personality if you want to.
Oh, wow. Okay, so can you give me an example? Like something concrete.
Sure.
How about something related to music, since I know you're such an audiophile?
Perfect.
All right.
So let's say you're a music producer working on a new track. You could create a custom GPT that's been trained on all your previous work. So it understands your style, your sound,
Okay.
even knows your preferred DAW software.
So instead of starting from scratch every time,
Right.
I can have this GPT generate drum patterns or bass lines that fit the vibe I'm going for.
Yeah, and it goes beyond just like generating sounds, you know?
Oh, okay.
You could ask it for feedback on your mix, suggestions for instrumentation, even help with songwriting.
That's pretty wild.
It is.
It's like having a virtual bandmate who knows my music inside and out. Okay, so let's say I get stuck on a particular section of a track.
Yeah.
Could I like feed the GPT a snippet of the audio and get it to like suggest variations or different approaches?
Absolutely.
It can actually listen to my music?
Yeah, and give you intelligent feedback.
This is blowing my mind a little bit.
I know, it's pretty amazing.
This could be huge for musicians.
Yeah.
Especially independent artists who don't have a whole team
Right, exactly.
of producers and engineers and things like that. Okay, so this is obviously incredibly powerful.
It is.
But how do you actually create a custom GPT?
It's actually a lot easier than you might think.
Really?
Yeah, OpenAI has made it really accessible.
Right.
There's a whole section in ChatGPT where you can create and manage them.
So I don't need to be a coding whiz to make this happen.
Not at all.
All right, so walk me through it.
Okay, so you basically give it a name, tell it what you want it to do,
Okay.
and then you start feeding it relevant information. Could be text, even images or audio.
So for our music producer,
Yeah,
they might upload some of their tracks,
exactly.
maybe some articles about their favorite genres.
And the more you feed it,
Okay.
the smarter and more personalized it becomes.
It's like training a puppy.
Kinda, yeah. Consistency is key.
Okay, I have to ask though.
Yeah.
What about the potential for misuse?
Right.
Could someone create a GPT that's biased or spreads misinformation?
Yeah, that's a valid concern for sure.
Yeah.
OpenAI has put safeguards in place to mitigate that.
Okay, like what?
So there are strict guidelines for the content used to train GPTs, and there are mechanisms for reporting any that violate the guidelines.
That makes me feel a little better.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're taking this seriously.
They are, which they have to.
Mm.
AI is becoming so powerful and accessible, it's crucial to keep those ethical considerations front and center.
I completely agree. All right, so we've talked about custom GPTs, we've talked about Canvas.
Right.
How do they work together?
Oh, they complement each other really well.
Okay.
So picture our music producer again.
Yeah.
They're in Canvas working on a new track. They could have their custom GPT right there in the environment,
Okay.
offering suggestions, generating sounds, giving real-time feedback.
So it's like having this super-powered AI assistant that's integrated right into my creative workflow.
Right.
That's
Incredible. And get this.
Okay.
These custom GPTs, you can share them.
Oh, wow. So other people can benefit from them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's huge.
Imagine a community of musicians exchanging GPTs trained on different genres, instruments.
It's like an app store for AI.
Yeah.
But specifically for creativity.
I know, right? It really opens up
a
a world of possibilities.
Okay, this is all really exciting.
It is.
And I'm ready to dive in and start experimenting.
Yeah.
But before I go full mad scientist, I think we need to take a step back and talk about the bigger picture here.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the features and everything.
Exactly.
We need to think about the broader impact.
Okay, so what does all of this mean for the future of creativity and human expression? I mean, are we on the verge of some kind of AI-powered renaissance?
I think we might be. But before we go down that rabbit hole, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
Gather our thoughts.
Sounds good.
We've covered a lot.
We have.
And it's a lot to process.
All right, I think I've had a second to process everything.
Yeah, me too.
So we've gone deep on the features, Canvas, custom GPTs, all the amazing things they can do.
Right.
But where does all this lead? I mean, what's the big takeaway here?
Well, we've seen how these tools can really change how we work.
Yeah.
How we create,
Right, empower individuals. Even help people collaborate in new ways.
Exactly.
It feels like we're on the edge of something huge.
It does, doesn't it?
Like, are we witnessing the start of a new era of creativity?
It's definitely possible.
One that's driven by AI.
Yeah, think about it.
Okay.
The printing press.
Yeah.
The camera, the internet. All these inventions changed everything.
Right.
They made tools and knowledge more accessible.
And that led to huge bursts of creativity.
Exactly.
So you're saying AI could be the next big disruptor.
I think it has the potential.
The thing that fundamentally changes how we create and express ourselves.
But, and this is a big, it all comes down to how we use it.
Right. Like any powerful tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Exactly. Will we see AI as a partner or as a threat?
That's a great point.
Will it help us create or will it limit us?
These are questions we really need to be thinking about.
Absolutely. We need to talk about ethics,
right,
bias, responsible use.
Making sure these tools are available to everyone.
Yes, exactly.
Not just a select few.
It's easy to get caught up in the hype.
It is.
But we can't ignore the potential downsides.
And we also can't forget that AI is a tool. It's an extension of us.
Right.
Not a replacement for us.
It's about amplifying our abilities.
Yeah.
Pushing the boundary.
Not handing over control.
Exactly.
So what does that future look like then?
Imagine a world where AI helps us overcome our creative blocks.
Okay.
Where it can translate our ideas into reality.
Effortlessly.
With incredible precision.
Writer's block becomes a thing of the past.
Musicians can experiment with new sounds and genres.
Artists can bring their wildest dreams to life.
That's the potential I see.
This is what's so exciting about all of this.
I know, right?
It's not just about being more efficient or automated.
It's about unlocking something new.
Yeah.
New levels of creativity.
That we can't even imagine yet.
And it goes beyond the individual.
Oh.
Think about how AI could transform collaboration.
Right. Teams working together.
Artists, designers, engineers.
All with the help of AI.
Seamlessly bridging the gaps.
Wow, that's a powerful vision.
The
whole being greater than the sum of its parts.
Exactly. And AI can help us connect those parts.
In ways we never thought possible.
It's really incredible.
So for our listeners out there, exploring these new tools, what should they keep in mind?
Approach AI with curiosity and openness.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to experiment, push boundaries.
And don't forget the human element.
Right.
It's our creativity, our passion,
Yeah.
our vision that will really shape the future.
At the end of the day, it's not about AI versus humanity.
It's about AI and humanity working together.
To create something amazing.
Well said.
Thanks.